Well, good morning, Freedom Team. Happy Monday to you, March 17th. As always, we have a pretty awesome gentleman getting ready to come in here and share with us what he has done to build his group and team. But I'll be up front. Colton, our guest here, is under the weather. Woke up with a fever. Let's just say that, and he is getting on here and pushing through. So we're going to try to keep it short with him. We'll get the nuggets we need, and Colton, we'll all say a prayer for you, brother. I know you're going to have a
Thank
long
you.
day, man, to get you through
Thank
it.
you. Thank you. I appreciate it.
You are very, very welcome. Let me get your bio here right now. Let's give by a quick little introduction. This is pretty impressive, Colton. Colton Whitney, the 34-year-old founder of Icon Realty Partners with eXp Realty, has built one of the most dynamic and fastest growing teams in the real estate industry. Under his leadership, the team skyrocketed from 19 million to an impressive 225 million in production over just 4 years, a remarkable achievement, even more notable by the challenges of a down market. Recognized for his strategic step-by-step approach, Colton provides agents with a clear, organized sales process designed to deliver predictable results and lasting success. By zeroing in on the KPIs that matter most, he has developed a proven framework that empowers agents to build sustainable, profitable businesses while maximizing the effectiveness of their efforts. Colton's dedication to accountability, his and precision has established him as a trusted mentor and leader. His ability to inspire action, guide growth, and foster high performance teams has made him a go to expert for agents seeking to elevate their production, boost their profitability, and thrive in any market conditions. So, pretty impressive. And that's obviously mainly about production numbers. And I know we're here to also kind of pick your brain on what you have done to grow a big rev share team. But Colton, why don't we start off, man? Again, for everybody who hadn't heard, he's a little under the weather, so bear with him if he's got a little coughing and stuff in between here. He's going to do his best. We appreciate it, Colton, you pushing through.
Yeah, of
Uh,
course.
yeah, why don't you give anything you'd like us to know about your background other than what we heard there? If there's anything personally you'd like to know, and once we get through that, just kind of take us on your real estate journey, if you wouldn't mind, prior to joining EXP, kind of what was your career like and anything else you'd like to know about?
Yeah, so I got into real estate. I'm probably one of the few people that do what I do that absolutely don't. I hate real estate. I always have. I never wanted to get into it. It's not something that I have any passion for in any way, shape, or form, like the actual sales side of things. But I had my daughter when I was 16. Sorry. So I had my daughter when I was 16 years old. Sorry, my camera keeps moving on me here. And so as a result of that, is my head cut off or am I good?
You're good.
It
No,
is on my side, but I think I just have a weird box here. Anyway, so had my daughter when I was very young. She turns 18 this year, which is mind blowing to me. But I was in Las Vegas, and it was a really bad time to get into the real estate business in 2008 in Las Vegas. It was one of the hardest hit cities. It was all service based at that point, and values had dropped by nearly 60%. We had 86,000 homes on the market the year I got into it. And a healthy normal market back then was about 6,000 homes. So it was a really bad time to get in from that perspective. In this perspective, it was the best time in the world to get in because I knew if I could get through that market, that we'd be able to get through any market. So got into real estate, truly dreaded every single client interaction, every single time I got in the car, every listing appointment. And I was like, gosh, I can't do this my entire life. This sucks all of the life out of me and I don't know why. So that's when I made the decision to start a team. And I love coaching. I love training agents. I love building systems. I love the business side of our industry. And as soon as I was able to really just start focusing on that and make my success dependent upon the success of others, that's really when I started loving what I do. I wasn't going to sit here and tell you I just hate real estate the entire time. I just hated that one particular side of it. So now my main thing, like I love, it's something that I'm really passionate about is we all just work our asses off, excuse me. But we just work so hard and we take so much of our time away from our family and we take so much time away from the things that we want to be doing. And you always hear these coaches talking about you got to double down and you got to do more and and it's like, I'm working 70, 80 hours a week. What do you want me to do? Like, I can't double down and still have a daughter who's going to know my name. So I got really intentional on not just trying to do more, but trying to do better. Like what do we do to get better results out of the activities that we're already doing? And unfortunately, we all, like in this industry, people spend a disproportionate amount of time trying to create new opportunities, and they try to spend a disproportionate amount of money creating new opportunities and new clients, as opposed to the investment and the time that we take into the standard, like an organized sales process that will deliver predictable results if you follow the steps. So I'm a very detailed and analytical person. I'm a numbers guy. And so I just started tracking KPIs, and that's where I found my strength is lead conversion and understanding the KPIs that drive strong lead conversion. And as a result of that, I built my team. We struggled like crazy in the beginning until I joined EXP. And I'd never built a team like the one that I had. We had never done the onboarding. We have never done the training. We had never done like at scale. We had never done this before. And I was looking around at my existing brokerage that I was with, and I was like, none of these people can help me. As much as I love them and as nice as they are, and as a great of a brokerage as Berkshire was, there's nobody here who's going to be able to lend a hand that's going to be able to pull me up to the next level. And that's when we made the decision to move here to EXP. And like I always tell everybody, it's like, I'm not the smartest, but I'm an implementer. So you tell me what to do and I will do exactly what you tell me to do. And so when we got here, we joined under Kyle Whistle in the fast forward movement. And sure enough, once we were given those blueprints, everything just kind of took off from there.
And so when you came over from Berkshire, did you brought your team with you? And if so, what did that look like?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't much of a team. It's certainly much different than what it is now. But it was my director of sales now, who's also turned into be my best friend. I was the best man at his wedding, but we didn't know each other when I hired him as a team agent. And it was just he and I. And then we've grown it to a team of 40 now. We have about, we actually run very lean. People are very shocked where we only have 3 salaried staff. But then we have a team of virtual assistants to help support those 3 key players.
I got you. So you have 40 on a traditional team.
Correct.
Yeah. So tell us what it was like though. So you brought your traditional team over. You got up and running. What was it like? First of all, how long have you been here, Colton?
So I've been here now. I just finished my 3rd year, so now I'm on my 4th.
Okay. And
Yeah.
maybe describe that first year, once you guys get acclimated, you get on board and stuff. Did you immediately jump into the rev share, or was it all hands on deck, production, learning systems? What did it look like that first year?
No, what's funny is when I came over, I told Mark, just because there's different people, and you guys have all heard it. There's people who do it really well. There's people who can weave it into the conversation and make it an organic solution to a lot of the problems that we as agents face. And then there's the people who just scream rev share and stocks, and it just sounds icky. And it's like when I wanted to join, I told my my mentor, I said, I don't care, or my sponsor, Mark Pattison, I said, I don't care about stocks. I don't care about rev share. That is not why I'm joining you. I'm joining because 1, I pay a substantial amount of money to Berkshire, and the more successful that I get, it feels like the less value I get from them. So I was like, I'm moving over here specifically because of the economics. And I'm moving over here because I want you guys to teach me how to do this the right way. So we did. And for the first year, I didn't pay any attention to it. And then my director of ops, Holly, who I hired, which by the way, the only way that I could afford her was the money that I saved coming from Berkshire Hathaway. I had a 10% split. They waived the franchise fee for me. But it's like, even that is a really expensive salary. So the money that I saved, I hired an operations manager because I knew we'd need one with what we were going to scale into. And she came in and she said, hey, we got a deposit and I don't know what it is. I can't source it. And I said, well, I don't know. I said, what is it? And it was like $560 or something like that. And so I ended up calling around. I had no idea. So I called Mark and said, hey, I just got a deposit from EXP. He goes, yeah, that's rev share. And I was like, it's $560. And he was like, yeah. He's like, it'll get bigger. Don't worry. And I said, I was like, Mark, no, like I was at Keller Williams before. I think my biggest profit share check that I ever got was like $13. And he's like, yeah, you're building a team and you're collecting revenue from the team. So it was about a year in to where I said, look, if I'm not doing anything on this and it's already $500, and at that point he showed me his and he was making like $25,000 a month. I said, okay, tell me more about this. Like, tell me everything that I need to know. And for the last 2 years, we've just been a lot more intentional on, because everything that we do, like everything we do in our business, hold on.
Poor guy's fighting a cold for some that may not have heard.
I'm trying to mute it, and I was
All
unsuccessfully
good, man.
having a stroke as I did it. Anyway, so what were we saying? Oh, everything we do with rev share and real estate, it's perfectly paralleled. We
Yeah.
acquire opportunities, we identify potential prospects, we stay top of mind, we stay in proximity, we stay in relationship. We make sure that we do so at a cadence, just like with a lead, based on, are they a hot lead, are they a cold lead, are they warm? And it's like the organization of the prospects that you create and the organization of how we convert them, it's a lot easier. And frankly, I know for an absolute fact, I can add substantially more value to a realtor than I can a client. And it's like, that's where I really started getting more passionate, because every single person on this call, you all are awesome. You're all really good at what you do. And at the end of the day, when you have a bunch of really great, fantastic agents, we're all going to be able to provide a very similar type of service and a very similar type of end result. But I know in the real estate industry, there's such a huge lack for training that really will create predictable outcomes. Like you always hear these people say, you got to ask, like you hear coaches and like, you just got to ask better questions. Well, how about you tell me what the better questions are? Like, I hate the surface level. You got to ask better questions. You got to do more. You got to double down. It's like, why don't we show me specifically what that particularly means? And it's like, I know that when we can go teach agents our organized sales process around lead conversion, I know I can have a direct and huge impact on them. So that's what we started to do. And I started doing webinars, teaching agents how to do it. And that's honestly where most of our attraction has come from, is through educational webinars. And we've done, sorry, I haven't answered that question. We have about 285 now and about 150 in the hopper that should be here within about 6 months. So it's something that's starting to really grow. And it's something that finally has given me just a substantial amount of passion for the business again.
That is awesome. So you've gone from 40 on a traditional team to 285 really in 2 years, right? I mean,
Yeah.
really, first of all, that's incredible. I think everybody here that's building right now is like, blah, 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 and just to bring on. So you're doing most of your attraction through giving probably the biggest benefit we can give to agents is lead generation, how to do all that. So
Yeah.
you do you have weekly webinars? Do you have lunch and learns? How are you and your team inviting agents to see what it is you can do to help them grow their real estate business?
Yeah, so we're like at the Fast Forward movement, and it started there because we had our group and we just do we do a weekly Monday mastermind, we do a weekly Monday master class. There's a really high power thing every single day of the week, like a Zoom like this. And it's Tina Call, it's Kyle Whistle, it's Dan Beer, it's Kenny Fast, it's Elias Asuto, like it's some of just the biggest names. So I started just by going to those. And it's the thing that attracted me to the company is I jumped on one of those calls and I sat on there, and 15 minutes into it, I said, this is by far the most valuable information that I've ever received. There is more, like this call just poked more holes into my business than I thought were there. And so I started inviting people to those because I'm like, dude, you got to check out this call. It's fantastic. You'll learn a ton. We'll give you a guest pass. There's absolutely no obligation. Well, and then sure enough, everybody else started to. And I know there's different approaches. I know people talk rev share. I think if you were to take a pool and you were to if you look at agents and you look at what interests them, earning rev share in stocks is not the priority number one for most of them. It's just like me. If you would have used rev share in stocks to attract me to the company, I never would have come. In fact, I had a guest, one of them, and I learned a lesson on this because he is so far repelled now because there was a lot of rev share talk. And I just saw it in his face. I saw him disconnect. But where I saw him reconnect was when people started talking about production. And it's like most realtors care about, how are you going to help me sell more homes? Most realtors care about, how are you going to get me back more of my free time so that my wife doesn't want to kill me, or so my husband doesn't want to divorce me. Like we're all dealing with the same exact pain points. We we need more profitability, we need more sales, we need to run, like there's so many things that agents don't know how to do. And once you can attract them through like, hey, here's the exact blueprints of how you can do that one thing that you want to do very successfully. And it's like, that is the thing that attracts people, the vast majority of them, I believe. So for us, it's get people in, give them an education that they've never had before, show them, like I run what's called the production partner model. So the things that have worked well is just, if you're a team leader and you're wanting to build a team and you want to be able to onboard and you want to hold people accountable, because team leads always talk about how terrible their team is. And it's like, well, are they? Because you hired them, you trained them. You're the one giving them the opportunities or not. You're the one holding them accountable to the things that they're supposed to be doing or not. And by the way, if you're still doing those, you're giving them the opportunity, you're giving them great training, you're holding them accountable, and they're still failing, you hired the wrong person. And it's like, so we are really intentional on helping team leaders build teams that are actually profitable. And then there's agents who don't want to build a team that they think they do because they want to get their time back. They want to increase their profit. And that's not a team. It's like, if you want to get your time back and if you want to increase your profit, the dumbest thing in the world you can do is go start a big team. And it's like, so we teach the production partner model for those agents. So we just kind of have a solution, which is a salaried agent and retains 47% more commission dollar than a traditional team model, puts you in total and complete control. So my whole focus has just been, let's build a program around each of these avatar agents that we want to attract. And how can we add the absolute most value to them without having to ask for anything in return? And inevitably, I tell everyone, and I see Chuck here, so I'm going to use Chuck. It's like, Chuck, one, I want you to know full well, I absolutely am recruiting you, but this is going to be the last conversation about recruiting that we ever have. I think you and I have the ability to build something incredible together. I will never bring up you switching the company. I just simply want to earn the privilege of being the person you think of whenever that time comes. And it's like, so when we invite them to stuff, when I got all my guests, I had 17 guests at Cabo. It was that same thing. It's like, hey, Chuck, this is going to be hands down one of the best events that you've ever attended. The last conversation about recruiting is what we have to hear. I don't want my silence to be confused as disinterest. I absolutely want to partner with you, and I think we could build something incredible together. But at the end of the day, the only thing I want is to plug you in, turn on the lights for you. And if this is something that you ever decide you want to consider, I just want to be the privilege. I want to earn the privilege of being the person that you think of when that time comes. And it completely disarms people. And that's genuinely what we deliver on. We don't push, we don't pressure.
So would you mind sharing what your week looks like? We over here at the Freedom Team, we have Zooms as well, Monday through Thursday, same time, same Zoom link. What does that look like? And are all of your agent you currently have, are most people when they attract, does some attract them to your traditional team or some to your group or rev share team, or kind of what does that look like?
Yeah, so for me, and I think the question here was the schedule. So the nice part about having a community, and there's a million of them, is we don't have to be the one. Like today, for example, I feel terrible. I'm not going to be on that mastermind. I got to save my voice for my webinar at 12. So I'm not going to be on there. But I know Kyle, Dan, Mark, Elias, I know there's going to be 450 of the other top agents in the country all leading that mastermind. And there's not one figurehead. It's not Colton Whitney's call. It's not Kyle Whistle's call. It's not Dan Beer's call. It's the Fast Forward movement. So we always have a predetermined 3 topics, and those pre-topics are submitted by our community. And within that community, and by the way, I'll teach you a really cool way that I've just learned on how we invite to this, and it's been really, really effective, so we do the 3 topics and we put out a teaser. And by the way, like when you're building the community, what we learned was way too late, and I wish I would have learned it earlier on. Just like, and this is where I find the direct parallel in our real estate business and the agent attraction business, is we're always trying to get more. Like you guys just heard me say it. I felt like an idiot because we're always just trying to get more. Well, what do we do to get more of the people who are already with us into better production? What do we do to increase our price points? What do we do to get them to sell more homes? What do we do to get more out of the output that we've already done? And you do that by plugging, like getting your downline, plugging them into FastCat, like making sure that we're keeping people engaged, making sure that we're giving people the support. And just like our real estate teams, we do these masterminds and we do the master classes and we do all this stuff, but you won't see your people. And so just like our team meetings, I know if I just put it on their calendar, our attendance compliance drops into like 50 to 40, 45 to 50%. But when we do the chaser method, which I have a community text thing set up, and I send a text and it's like, hey, here's the topics for tomorrow, da 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 da. Really look forward to having you on there. And always use it by name. Hey, Chuck, really looking forward to having you on the call tomorrow. Here's everything that we're going to discuss. And if you don't see them, hey, brother, really miss you on the call. Want to make sure that we keep you plugged in so that you don't miss any of the value. Here's a quick synopsis of everything that we discussed on the call today. Here's a recording transcript. And it's like staying in communication and in relationship with the people that we have, like retaining them, of course, is very important. But more importantly, if we don't keep people plugged in, they're inevitably going to feel isolated. They're inevitably going to feel like they're on an island, and they inevitably are going to start getting wandering eyes towards other shiny objects. So we just need to be the shiniest object, and we know we are the shiniest object. So we keep them plugged into it. But the invite component that works is you have to remove the friction for the people within your downline to do this. Because if we tell our team, and we just learned this through our team, hey guys, here's what you're going to do. We're paying for the client appreciation event. We're scheduling it. We hired the DJ, we hired the catering, we did all the games, we got the face painters, we got Santa Claus, we did everything. All you have to do is send this text message. And by the way, that we're removing a lot of the friction in comparison to what I know other people do. We even give them the text template and it's already uploaded into their CRM. Chuck, all you have to do is call your clients and invite them. That's it. That's all you got to do. And he doesn't do it. Not Chuck, but like we remove the friction to the point where they just have to go take the action. And it's amazing how few people actually did. So instead, we went in and emulated them as in the CRM. And the next event that we did, we had 480 people RSVP versus like the 30 that we had when we left it up to the agents. So what that taught us is your people that if like we want to grow deep, we got to reach into our second level and help them reach into their third. We got to reach into our third and help them to reach into their fourth, reach into your fourth to help them reach into your fifth. Because if you want to grow deep, you got to get the people above each of those levels to attract to that level below them. And the challenge is it requires them to do the things that you did to get them where they're at. But if we don't remove all the friction, they don't do it nearly as well. So the things that we're doing now is we're sending it to their downlines too. It's like, because I know they're not going to do it. So we're just being intentional. One, making sure that everybody within our organization, and then plus, once you get down to like your sixth and your seventh, you've now lost visibility to everybody in their lower levels. So you just find the person that you can count on that's a builder that takes this seriously to make sure that they're extending those efforts. Kyle Whistle learned that. He has 20-something thousand people total, but he only has like 12,000 of them visible within his. So he relies on me because I'm on one of his lower levels to make sure that we're sending it into those deeper levels below that he doesn't have access to.
So these are, you're saying, Colton, are you guys using like Textly? Do you mind me asking, how are you getting that out? Because Kyle has a huge team. How do you get it out?
I use Community. It's called Community. It's literally just called Community. Google Community text platform.
Huh. Community text. Okay, because we have a group, we send stuff out every single day as well. I know that can start to get pricey at some point. So just look up, you said Google Community?
There's a bunch, yeah. And just go into ChatGPT, because by the way, I did, and there's cheaper ones for sure. I liked Community. It works really well for what we use it for. But so yeah, there's definitely cheaper platforms out there. I like to remove friction from everything to do with my day, everything to do with our process. If I have to do 2 clicks to get to something I'm accessing, I try to figure out how to remove the 1 click. Like we just try to make everything as frictionless as possible.
So what you would just explain to make sure I understand is your invitation to some of your powerful masterminds or events, you're putting together the invitation for them to invite other agents and sending it out to the group. Look, we've done everything. It's all ready to go. Here's what you need to text or say if you call or text them. Am I understanding?
Yeah. Well, yeah, because I mean, at the end of the day, and again, everything that we've learned on this. Hold on. I want to get this switched over. Sorry.
Kathy, Kelly, any of you guys feel free to kind of dig in because obviously went from 30 to 200 something. So whatever's happening there, I'm trying to figure exactly that out. We could definitely use that to grow this to, can you imagine we got on here and this had 100 plus instead of this 15 to 30? So yeah,
Well,
it's
yeah,
must dig a little deeper, Colton, on what is the verbiage? And did we just lose you? I think we and guys, I don't want to keep him more than another 5, 10 minutes at most. Again, he's hurting, you could tell. But let's try to pull that out. Kathy, can you guys know where I'm trying to go with it before he gets off? I appreciate all you guys. I see the same faces for the most part. Every one of you guys, thank you for coming on to these Monday through Thursday. I know we can't all make them, but there's no reason, man, we can't go to 50 to sit in. And we talk about that as a leadership team. So here, he's coming in. Let's just see if we can figure out what is he doing insane? What's being sent out? So then we'll see if we can let him go and heal himself up.
I do
Where-
have it plugged in,
Oh, there you go.
but it unfortunately was plugged into a too small of adapter, so the computer was sucking more juice than it was put into it. So yeah, if you do that, like it is half of the battle. Like we do all this work to attract people, but then are we doing the work to make sure that they're one, staying plugged in, that they're into the community? We want to make sure that they're still getting the value out of it. And by the way, like it require, and you can't do this. I don't know how Kyle does it. I truly don't, because I know how many he has, but I see how attentive he is. And by the way, I know he's not attentive to everybody because he can't be. You can't put all of your bandwidth onto people who aren't deserving of the time and the attention. But if you're a general, it is what we call them. If you're, and you can identify what your generals are. Have they attracted 5? Have they attracted 10? Have they attracted 20? Have they attracted 50? Whatever that number is, those are your babies, because those ones are going to be the ones that build the community. So what I don't understand with him is just how attentive he is and how on top of everything. He's a freak of nature. But it modeled exactly what I should be doing for the people that are within our communities. And we just know people are going to disconnect. We know people are going to stop plugging in. So it's one of the things that we always want to ask is, and again, I can still see Chuck. It's like, Chuck, close your eyes, fast forward 12 months from now. Everything went perfect. You said that this was the best decision that you've ever made. It took your business exactly to where you wanted it to go. In order for you to say that, in order for you to say this was the best decision that I've ever made, tell me exactly what that would need to look like. And then get the answer. Like find out from the people that you're attracting into the company. We do the same exact thing with our agents. Because at the end of the day, we know motivation comes in waves. How many of those people do you guys have in your world? You're like, hey, today's my day, man. It's a new leaf. Today's going to be the day that I finally get out of bed and start doing the things I'm supposed to do. And then they have the same conversation with you a month from then. And then they have the same conversation 3. And then they have the same conversation with you in another 3 months. And it's like, gosh, man, if you could get out of your own way and if you could just start doing the slow, consistent steps that can get you where you want to go, just imagine how much further you'd be. And we like to find out truly, like in the most in-depth way, like what does that look like for you? And you'll hear the answer. And you'll hear things like, I'm going to have more balance with my family. I'm going to learn how to scale. I'm going to get a little bit more leverage. And then you ask them the question. It's like, well, who does that impact? Like, who would that life that you just described, who does that impact? And you're typically going to hear my kids and my wife and this and that. And it's like, what does that life look like for them? Like if you do hit that goal and you do sell that many homes and you do make that type of income, what does life look like? And you get to hear them and they get real excited to tell you. And it's like, oh, I could take them on vacation. I can buy my wife that house she wanted. We can go do this. And you get them all excited and then you pop their bubble and you go, great. Now, what happens if you do the opposite? What happens if you don't create that life? What happens if you don't do that thing? What does that life look like? How does that look like for your kids? How does that look like for your wife? And you hear them answer that. And it's like, okay, do I have your permission to use this against you, to hold you accountable to the things that you're committing to? And it's like we genuinely do. And when we have people who are falling off, like accountability is the most sincere form of love that a person can possibly give you. And anybody who joins us, they know that. And I have the same conversation with them. So when I see you not plugging in and when I see you not jumping on the calls, when I see you not creating that system that we talked about last week, when I see that you didn't implement that process that you were supposed to do, when I see you didn't start that geographic farm that you were supposed to, it's like, hey, when we first met, you told me that you were committed to X, Y, and Z. Well, we're 3 months in, we're 6 months in, we're 8 months in, whatever we are, and we are in no different of a position than we were in when you first joined. I told you that I was committed to helping you get where you wanted to be. and I am, but it requires you to take the steps. So I just want to ask you, are you going to recommit or are you giving up? And it's like, and you just have that honest conversation with somebody. It's like, are you willing to recommit? Because you really only have 3 options. You're going to downgrade your goals and make less money. You're going to increase the output to bridge the gap from where you're at to where you want to be. Or Chuck, you're giving up. But you really do only have 1 of 3 options. Which one is it? And they never say they're giving up. They never say that they want to lose money. And it's like, if we can treat the people within organizations, and by the way, are there people that I've never had this conversation with? For sure. But a lot of the people who are joining out of desperation. There's a lot of people joining because there's a pain point that they need removed. And it's like, if that's why they're joining us, I think we have an obligation to make sure that we're giving them that type of accountability that's going to get them where they need to be.
Yeah, that's good questioning. Kelly, I know you're probably typing away, but I've got a lot of that in my head. You put that in, yeah, great question. I just heard that again about 3 or 4 weeks ago. Going out a year and have them give you the nuts. That's a great way to walk them through. So thank you for sharing, Colton.
Yeah, I think that came from Chet Black, if I'm not mistaken. I want to give credit where it's due.
Yeah.
But I think that was Chet Black's line of questioning.
Once you train that 3 times, it's yours, brother. You own it.
You know what I've always loved about Chet Black? He does things and he's like, guys, I read this out of a book. He goes, I'm just a
Exactly.
vessel that translates it to you. He goes, I'm not doing anything special here. I learned a lesson that was taught to me, and now I'm a vessel that transfers it to you. That's
Yeah.
all any of us are.
Yeah, he's unreal. He comes on the alpha. I don't know if he comes on the beta, but he comes on the alpha probably every other time now, training
Yeah,
and just,
he,
yeah, blows your
he's
mind.
incredible.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, man, I know you're under the weather. If we have one or
Brother,
two,
you're good. I'm going to be doing this crap all day, so I'm okay.
yeah. Okay, man, I sincerely appreciate it. Couple questions right here that just came into the chat. Love the script. Yes, great email can go down line. Love Mondays, Tuesdays.
Oh, I don't want to forget to remind me that the invite thing that's worked really well. I'll tell you what it is. I haven't talked about it, but do that question.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. Kelly had a question. Go ahead, Kelly.
I do, and this might play into the invite thing, Colton. So you had 17 prospective agents go down with you to Cabo. What did that look like, and what kind of result did you create from that?
So the good news is and if you guys know me, if from the outside people think I'm an extrovert, people think that I enjoy doing social things. Once they get to know me, they know I really don't. It's completely forced. It makes me wildly uncomfortable. I'm a total introvert, always have been. So it's like the idea of having to entertain 17 people was like giving me nothing but anxiety. The small talk and stuff. And again, please know, I love people. I can't help the way that I am. It just makes me uncomfortable. So I reached into my downline, and again, our whole goal is to help people build and to build out your debt. Like, I don't need to go attract 100 more agents that only 30% of them are selling homes. I just need to get the ones who actually will sell, who will attract people who do sell. Like, I need them to go do the things that are going to help them build that out with the right people. So in order to do that, I just reached out and I said, okay, Chuck, hey, we got an event. I'm going to pay for your ticket and I will pay for your guest ticket, but I'm only paying for yours if you can bring a guest and you create the criteria. And I said they got to be somebody who sells 25 million and above. So if you bring a guest, I will pay for both your ticket and their ticket. There are people that I have that I said, listen, if you have a big producer, pay everything, remove all the friction, remove anything that's going to create friction to them accepting the invite, pay for the hotel, pay for the flight, pay for the ticket, pay for everything, for the right people. There's certain people that they're wishy-washy and making them pay for their own flight. There's certain people where I'm only going to pay for their ticket. But if it's somebody who's going to bring over 50 to 100 people conservatively, why am I not willing to make that investment? Like, there's nothing right now. And I even reached out to my financial advisor and I said, am I crazy for doing this? Because everything that I'm looking to buy in my market, the mortgage on I'm in a really high price market. We're not rich, I promise. But the mortgage on these things is double what they are doubled than what you can rent them for. It's like, I don't have a good investment I can make right now locally to me. Why don't I just go put all this money that I have that I'm going to be allocating towards real estate? Why don't I just go buy $30,000 worth of tickets and rooms and get people to come show up? It's like, there's nothing that I'm going to have that's going to generate. And by the way, that might be 2,000 for you. It might be 1,000. It might be 3. But there's no investment that I can make into any segment of the market right now that's going to return with more security, more predictability, and in a faster time frame than agent attraction. So it's like, why wouldn't I be willing to go pay for somebody's hotel to bring somebody who, by the way, even if they're just a solo agent, your first 100% bonus that you get on the first line, it pays for itself in the first year. Like, why are we not willing to make that investment? This is not a 100% profitability game. And again, I'm small, but we're going to grow fast. Like we already have it. We feel it. We feel this crazy momentum. And if we can grow it by 6% a month, it doubles every single year. And that's been our focus, and we've been able to maintain it. And it's like just removing that friction to the invites does really help. And again, the script that Brent Gove gave me was, hey, this is going to be the best event of the year. It's going to absolutely be the most impactful event that you've attended. I'm so confident that you will love it. That, brother, if at any given point in time, you feel that I'm completely full of crap and that this event doesn't deliver, I'll give you your money back. Just text me, refund, and within 60 seconds, I'm going to give you a full refund. So it's like, you can choose how you're going to layer. Are you going to pay? Are you going to ask them to pay, but you'll offer them the guarantee? Like, I understand there's different chapters of this, and there's absolutely a period of my life where I could not have paid $1 to get somebody there. So maybe then I use the guarantee, just knowing somebody's never going to use it.
Yeah. Yeah. So
And
so
what
you
was
do
your
have
result then coming out of that with all those people there that you know of so far?
Yeah. So right now, one of them, which was my happiest, he's with Real, and he came and said, and I told him when he said, I said, hey, brother, and I knew he would say this. I said, I know you have absolutely no intention of leaving Real, and I know you're happy there. But, and this was real, it really was what happened. I had a room and a ticket to run that came available. And I said, the room's yours. I'm not going to try to recruit you. No, it is an EXP event. So you're going to hear a lot of EXP stuff, but the guests and the networking, and that's what you're looking for. So he showed up, and at the end of it, he was like, dude, this was not on my radar at all. But he said, we need to talk because I'm moving my team over. There was one that was repelled because it was all rev share talk, and I should have done a better job. You know what the different events are now. Like I should have known, I should have asked more that this was going to be more focused on rev share. But what I did find is my people who brought in them and their guests, they had a ton of interest. They had a really great time. But the cool thing that happened as a result of this particular event is people who are already with the company that aren't necessarily builders yet really got focused in on building. And it's like, okay, so we'll use the production focused events to attract people to the company. And I'm going to use the rev share focused events only to, one, attract people who I know are interested in rev share, or two, to invite my existing people for retention to get them motivated to start doing the things that they need to build a big downline.
Thank you.
Yeah, completely makes sense. Yeah, the big decisions are made at big events. There's no
Yeah.
doubt. Yeah, we've experienced all that. Any another pressing question at all that you guys would like to
Yeah, I
ask?
had a question, Colton. So as you're talking, as your big picture, like everybody, as you said, all the agents, they're looking for lead gen. You're going at that angle, right? It's like how you are going to help them, how your team fast forward is going to help them to create more leads, more, more quality clients, all those things. What is y'all's strategy once you've brought them in with that premise in getting people interested in rev share or helping them to see what the big picture really is? Because as you said, most people don't really get that. Agents are looking for sales.
Yeah. So for me, it's a thing that like personally, everybody says the same thing. I'm not a recruiter. I'm never going to be a recruiter. Neither am I. Genuinely, I invite people to things. You create opportunities. You plug people in. You nurture them. And it's like, by the way, you're nurturing them with things that are going to improve their business. You're selfish if you don't try to expand that. You're selfish if you try to hold this information all to yourself. So it's like all you have to do to get somebody interested in it. One, you find out. But the question that John Pugh gave me, that's one of my favorite questions, and it's one that nobody ever asked. So if you're looking to organically create this conversation, you can ask Chuck. I'll use somebody else. I see Kimberly. And it's like, Kimberly, what's your passive income goal? What's your passive income goal? Nobody ever asked anybody that question. What's your passive income goal? How much money do you need to make in order to blah, 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 blah. And then they're going to give you an answer. And by the way, most people don't have it, but it's like, all right, well, if you could guess, like, you don't want to be on this hamster wheel forever. You don't want to have to get on the treadmill every single time you need to chase a check. Like, I'm assuming at some point you want to be able to not have to jump on the treadmill to maintain your quality of life. What would that income level have to look like? And then they'll say, I don't know, 10,000 a month, 12,000 a month, 13, whatever it is, 7, 6, 5, doesn't matter. It's like, what are you doing to get there? And then you'll see very quickly people don't. And by the way, go do the math with them and go show them. We did this with the guy Voltaire that we brought in, and Voltaire owns 60 doors in San Diego. He owns a ton of real estate. Mark at the time, and close to me, he brings it up on the calls all the time. He's like, guys, I own over $50 million in real estate in San Diego. He has over 52 doors. And if you're familiar with that market, they're all million plus. And he's like, they're making more passive income than I am.
Wow.
Through rev share. And he's like, do you know how many years it took me to build this? Do you have any idea how much money I had to invest and the risks that I had to take and the sacrifices I had to make to earn what these guys have built in just 2 to 3 years? That's what got him excited. He's like, I am just playing the wrong game here. By the way, it's not that he's making a dumb decision, but there's nothing that's going to be a bigger, faster investment. So it's like, if you're trying to find out from somebody, hey, what do I do? Hey, you don't have to be a recruiter. You never have to have the conversation. You just invite people to the things that you saw value in. That will turn on the light for people. They 100% will have interest in joining. And when they do, tag us in and we'll do the recruiting for you. And it's like, we'll do the 3-way call. We leverage that, which we all are very familiar with. But just asking somebody, what's your passive income goal? What's your plan to get there? They don't have one.
Yeah, that's
great.
amazing. It correlates so much if you see in there Colton Kelly, who you've met. It sounds like she's acquired 90 doors in 5 years. Her rev share now has outperformed real estate, and she just went over 100 last month.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, and you've been doing that for over 15 years, right, Kelly?
Yeah, very actively since 2012, so 13 years.
Yeah.
Well, and not to mention, Kelly, too, go do the math and go calculate how much time, truly, and don't give the answer that people like to give on stage. How much time have you dedicated to building and attracting? Not a lot. Like, I know I have very little, like less than an hour a week, for sure, less than an hour a week. Okay, how many years have you been in the business? How many hours in the business have you worked? Now, how much income has that earned you? Go divide the amount of income by the amount of hours and go see what your hourly rate was in this real estate business that we're working in. Now go do the exact same thing with revenue share and that hour per week that I've done. By the way, it's not even an hour a week for the last, because everything that I'm doing, I'd be doing anyway for the production side of my business. And it's like, we're not doing anything new. We're not doing anything special. Go look at your highest dollar per hour. Your rev share is going to be a hundreds of a multiple of the amount of income that you're making through the real estate industry. And it's the only thing you can dedicate this much time to and make this much money with.
Yeah, so true. And a lot of it comes down to a little bit of luck involved there, right? You never know who you're going to bring in that really is going to plug in and produce. And I think it's kind of like who was asking just a few minutes ago. And I think all of us ask the same question. How do we try to inspire, motivate? We've got this huge organization as well. Like I said, we only have 15, 20 show up for this kind of an event. We do another. That's why I was wanting to know your week layout. We have 4 days a week, Monday through Thursday. Monday, Thursday is more about attraction. Tuesday, Wednesday is more about production. What does that week look like? And do you
Yeah.
guys have one big mastermind every day?
We have our big mastermind Monday, which is 3 particular topics that are submitted by the group. And those topics are very everybody friendly. It's friendly for team leads. It's friendly for team agents. It's friendly for solos. It's friendly. Anybody who's in real estate, this mastermind is appropriate for. Then we have our master classes Monday that are right after, because you'll have these people on these 3 topics. And during these topics, you only have 20 minutes each for each topic. And you're going to hear from everybody within the group, because there's not one person showing how awesome they are. It's the entirety of the group. Hey guys, here's a problem that I'm facing. What are you guys doing to fix this? And then you'll have people raise their hands and they'll all jump in, and you'll have Kyle and Dan and Mark and myself and all these big names saying that, not putting myself in the big name category, but you'll have all these people who have done very, very, very well answering what they do, but you don't get to go really, really deep on one particular topic with that one particular person. So I put together what's called our master classes. So I'll be listening to the call and I'll be like, oh my gosh, Kelly on her portfolio and her SOP on how she built it, whatever it may be. And I reach out to Kelly and go, Kelly, could you please put together a master class, a 1-hour master class to go deep on that one particular topic? So the master classes are for like a subject matter expert to really dive deep onto one particular topic. And we make a rule. No storytelling, no, like we all get it. We've all struggled. We've all gone, we've all persevered. We've all We don't need it. We don't need to hear about all of it. Like, I get it. We can have dinner and we can cry together. We can do the whole thing. I want to hear things that are going to move the needle in my business. So no fluff, everything actionable, only implementable. I don't need to sit here for 30 minutes and hear how awesome you are at persevering. We all are. Everybody is. You're not special. So we tell everybody who does a masterclass, and by the way, do have this conversation, because people love to go spend 40 minutes talking about why they're so incredible. So we tell them, suck that out. Don't do it. Anything, if it's not actionable that I cannot implement and install into my business, do not talk about it. And it needs to be something that, so anyway, we do that for the masterclass. Then we have our lady leaders group, which is all the women in the group. Then we have our solo agent mastermind, because what we learned is when we were doing one big mastermind, there's team lead stuff that we got to talk about. And there's team lead stuff that we got to talk about that we shouldn't be talking to in front of the team agents. Because one, you're going to have other people be like, well, my split's this. Yeah, but we're comparing apples and oranges. Like, you can't have that conversation on a platform without going in depth on what's being provided at those splits. So we have the team lead one, we have our generals one, which is 50 million and above, because those conversations are very different than what we're doing on the Monday session. So we have the generals, and then we have the lieutenants, which is 15 million to 49 million, because they're trying to figure out the ops person, they're trying to figure out the salary, they're trying to figure out the assistants. Like, they're all in different phases. So the solo agent mastermind, it's a different conversation than it's in the general mastermind. The general mastermind is a different conversation than what's in the lieutenant's mastermind, because they're just on different chapters. And we want to make sure that if you're there, you're reading a page that's actually going to be applicable to the story you're trying to create. So we separated it that way.
And do you, I'm assuming when you rattle off all the leaders, Tina, Kyle, Wilson, all of them, are they all on each one of those masterminds so they can give input, or do you just make sure you have enough generals and stuff to give the feedback?
At any given point in time, we have 400 to 600 people on the call. So is Tina on everyone? No. Am I on everyone? No. Is Kyle on everyone? No. But everybody, we created a rhythm of getting everybody in place. So at any given point in time, we'll have at least 20% of the top 100 on that call.
Wow. So you're doing a Zoom and having 400 show up?
Every Monday, which, by the way, is crazy low. Like, when you look at the size of the fast forward movement, it's still a crazy low number. It's hard to get people plugged in, but that's where, like, the community that they built, and they've done exceedingly well at it, is you need to identify who the builders are. I'm one, Elias is one, like the builders who also are volunteering to contribute. Like, and again, we learn this in our teams. You go pick on your top producer to go be your mentor. Your mentor didn't want to be their mentor. The top producer didn't want to be a mentor. They've never helped a person a day in their life. You never see them out in the office trying to help agents. They don't have the patience for it. Like, the best mentors are who's already out there helping, who's already out there contributing, who's doing it because they haven't been asked. Those are your builders. So it's like Kyle and Dan have done a really great job of, I was throwing webinars for the group, so they tap on me to help them keep doing the things that we're doing. Elias is a huge contributor. Tina is a huge contributor. All these people are huge contributors. So it's like, you just go pick the people who are already contributing, and they're going to help get their people built into it as well.
Gotcha. My last question here, man, appreciate you sticking this out. Man, I
Yeah,
really
of course.
do. You keep talking about these 3 topics, and you're getting your group to give feedback. Walk me through, how is that being done to get, is that where those 3 questions being placed, or the 3 topics? How are people giving input and so forth?
We just create a Google form or a Monday form. So we have like topics.fastforwardmovement.com. And you just have people go in, and it's like, I picking a topic for which masterclass of the Monday, or which mastermind. You choose the mastermind and you just plug in a topic. Now, are they always filled in? No. Do we have to throw some in sometimes? 100%.
Okay. But that you guys been doing that for a while, so you guys keep telling everybody, hey, if you want to have a certain topic talked about, go onto the Google sheet, put it in. So you just kind of keep reaching it out to the group. Okay.
And by the way, the thing that created this, that got it so big and allowed it to sustain, was COVID hit. And COVID, it's like, hey guys, we're all still together. We're all still a community. You're not on your own. So everybody was there because everybody needed help. And it's like, we just never got off that cadence.
Yeah. So moving forward, as we wrap this thing up, like, here we are in 2025. Do you personally have a goal set for your rev share, or is it just keep giving value, inviting to events? And what does that look like for you the rest of the year?
Yeah. So by 2030, I want 5,000.
5,000 by 2030. Okay. If you,
Yeah.
and just back that up, what's it look like here this year for you, 2025?
I'm at 285. The goal for this year is 400.
Nice.
Yeah, and as
Nice.
long as we're growing it by 6% per month and I track it, then we'll double every single year. So long as we maintain that growth. And the fastest way to maintain that growth is by tapping on the people that I already know who are builders, the people who already show up, the people who already know are recruiting. It's like, go look at your organization, go pick your number, go see everybody who's attracted 10 or more agents. Like, go call personally every single one of those people and be like, hey, I want to throw gasoline on this. It's like, don't go call the people who have 0 that have been here for 4 years. Go find the people that are already doing it, figuring it out on their own.
I like that. That's so true. Open up the organization, look through each one of us, find people that have at least input even 5.
Yeah.
You know, anything just to have gotten off the ground and show that they can do it. Now we just need to pour gas on the fire. I like that. Invite them to uh, come up with those 3 topics. And anyway, everything you're talking about, we just need to slowly look at some of that, Kelly, you guys, and implement that. Send that what you've typed up, Kelly, over. I'll bring that to the leadership team and discuss some of these different ideas because this good stuff, Colton. Well, man, I don't want to keep any longer unless somebody has one massive question.
I think Melvin had something.
Go ahead, Melvin.
All right, thank you. Thank you.
And Melvin, sorry, you're breaking up.
Oh, okay, sorry about that. Can you hear me better?
I can hear you, yeah.
Okay, I just want you to, if you will, when you were talking about the community, the Google text, how you are into your downlines, KB Core. So you guys are sending messages through them, or are you sending it to your agents and they're sending the messages through their KB Core?
No, so that we don't use KB Core, but it's any CRM. I use Community for our downline efforts, and we don't use it for our team. We just use it for the downline efforts. For the CRM thing that I was talking about, those invites were for the team to their clients.
So you get the advertising to the team, and then the team sends it out through their CRM to their clients.
Oh, the parallel that I made there was the team issue that we had. So we just used Community to send it to all 7 levels. So I have all their cell phones. And by the way, it's like, I can do this at our size. Pick up the phone and call them and just be like, hey, Melvin, it's Colton Whitney. I'm one of your upline partners. I just wanted to let you know that we've got this, and this. I just wanted to make sure that you have access to all these links, and you'll be amazed they don't. And it's like, I have a text message that we send out before every mastermind. Are you okay if I put you on that thread to make sure that we can keep you plugged into the things that are going to help you get from A to B? And it's like, get them to say yes, because if not, you're going to get the report as junk, stop, and then you're going to get your number blocked. So actually call, and it's like, oh my gosh, you're going to call somebody who's already attracted to your organization. How stupid would that be to stay in relationship with them and have a conversation? It's like, or we can just be the people who just sell houses, never talk to a past client, and always have to rely on new business.
Yeah, and help people just belong and be a part of the community, reaching out to someone. That's funny. You're going to reach out to somebody within your organization that's already
crazy. Yeah. Oh, by the way, that invite thing that was working, I don't want to forget this because it worked really well. We'll post those screenshots of like the 3 topics for our mastermind, and you'll post it. It's like, DM me for a link. Nobody DMs you. Like every once in a while, somebody does, very few. So instead, those same 3 topics, you go to Instagram and you create a poll. And you can go post a story and you create a poll, and it says which of these 3 topics, if you mastered, would have the biggest impact on your business. And then I put the poll answers, because then I'm forcing hand raisers from agents who are already following. They took the time to engage, and now I have anywhere between 18 to 50 people who have chosen and it's not a ton, but it's 18 to 20 people who have chosen what their pain point is. They showed me specifically already by doing that, this is my pain point and this is what I need to reinforce. So that's when you personally reach out to them. At 1, you should be adding them to the CRM. You should be identifying the pain point so that you know the value that you can drop for them. Like talking to somebody about an upcoming soon listing that's tapped out of the market due to affordability is a horrible touch. They can't afford it. You haven't bridged that gap from what they need to where they're at to what they need. So instead, if you were to bring up a 3-2-1 buy down, like that's an appropriate touch because it's solving to that pain point that might allow them to move forward. So it's like the touches that we make should be geared around their specific pain points. But one, the one-to-one invite is always going to get a higher adoption. It's going to start more conversations. And then two, you throw them into your CRM, you already know what their pain point is. So you create a tag and it'll be like open houses, geographic farming, and do pain point, geographic farming. So whenever we have a geographic farming thing, I go search that bucket of people within my CRM and I'll say geographic farming. And I'm like, hey, I've got Tina Call doing a masterclass, or I've got Mary Maloney doing a masterclass, and it's like now you're inviting people in an effective way because we're talking to their specific pain point.
Yeah, that's good. Very, very good. Well, awesome, man. We'll wrap up, dude. Thank you so much. It's been phenomenal, Colton. And I hope you get better and make it through the day, buddy.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Sorry, I sound like crap.
Colton, would you like me to send you the recording over to use?
No, it's okay.
You're good? Okay.
Yep.
Man, we
I
sincerely
don't need to hear my voice right now.
Yeah. Congrats on your success and sharing a lot of great nuggets. I think we can take some of that, implement it here as well. So we sincerely appreciate you. Thank you, everybody, for showing up, man. Have a fantastic week.
Thank you, guys.
We need the leaders if we can help. All right,
Thank
guys.
you.
Thank you. Great job.
Thanks, Colton.
Feel better,
Thank
brother.
you.
Thank you.